Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kilroy's Films. Kilroy's Films? Headset on. I can never talk whilst I've got headphones on. My stream health has just changed. Forgive me. Part of the reason for going live tonight is a test again for Yololiv and the Yolobox Pro with the LIveU Solo, but also to talk about the Yolobox Pro as per the title. Now, I only decided to go live this afternoon, so I'm not sure if anybody is going to join me live. It'd be great if they did, but obviously I haven't got a huge following. I've actually gone live a little bit early anyway, it's 2 minutes to, but the reason I did is because I was getting a warning again about stream health, and I started to panic, thinking the patch that they've sent me wasn't working again. But it looks like it is, because we're back up to excellent. It must have been a temporary fluctuation or something, I don't know. I don't know, is the honest answer there. I am just actually going to also, on another channel, open YouTube. Oh, I also want to check the LIveU Solo stats. Yeah, and we're streaming a good... It's interesting, right? The LIveU Solo, it says the input is at 50 frames per second, but I've set it at 25, and I'm told the output of the Yolobox Pro is 25 frames per second when you use the program out. This always confuses me. I'm not sure who to believe here. Anyway, let me just jump to YouTube. I just want to check my audio. Oh, I need to check that audio is actually coming through the stream itself. Got multiple headphones here. You can probably tell I'm not a professional live streamer from home. Not too good at this stuff from home. I'm normally behind the camera, pointing the camera at other people. But yes, it looks like... Yeah, we've got audio. We've got audio on the stream, so that's good. That was the thing that was always worrying me before. Anyway, we're a bit early, so I'm actually just going to do something whilst I just do a final few little bits of titivating. Okay, so we're back. I just moved the mic actually. I've got cables trailing everywhere, so apologies for that. So, why am I doing this live stream tonight? Well, let's just have a little reminder. I'll put it up on the screen for you. So the Yololiv Yolobox Pro, that's what this live stream's about for me tonight. And I'm just going to cover off why I chose the Yolobox, how I use the Yolobox and the Yolobox Pro. I've got the original as well actually. Some features and benefits specific to the features and benefits that I personally use. Sorry, I'm getting rid of the phone, it's going to keep buzzing on the desk otherwise. Things that are not so great about it. It's a fully honest review, and while I mention that, I paid for the original Yolobox and the Yolobox Pro with my own money, made my own decisions. Yololiv have recently helped me massively with an issue I was having with the box. Now there may be people that watch this, maybe people that comment that have other issues, but for me, Yololiv have been absolutely phenomenal in terms of managing to get this device working for me the way I wanted it to work using the program out, which we'll talk about in a minute, so why I use it. So yeah, they asked me to make this video because I was very public about the negatives that I was finding with the box and it not working with the LIveU Solo, but it's an honest review. That's why I'm going to talk about the things that are not so great. And would I recommend it? We'll talk about that as well. So let's move into, oh, I jumped all the way to the end, forgetting how to use it already. Why I chose Yolobox in the first place, what drew me to using one of these devices. And by the way, if you do jump on, let me know how the exposure is looking, because to me it looks great on the Yolobox. The low res preview is obviously a bit rubbish. It looks okay. I haven't done my hair or had a shave though. So the original Yolobox, this is the first one I bought, and forgive me, I haven't swatted up on all of the sizes and stuff. I think it's a 7-inch screen, and I think the Yolobox Pro is a 9-inch screen diagonal. But yeah, it's a 7-inch roughly screen, and the original has 2 HDMI inputs on the back there. You're not going to be able to see that on face tracking. It has a USB input, which I've actually had issues with. That's a not so great thing on the Yolobox original. And it had HDMI out. So when it first came out, the HDMI out was just a view of what you were seeing on the screen. So if somebody else wanted to see it on a bigger monitor or whatever, to assist you with the live stream. But then after, I can't remember how long after, but I saw something on YouTube from one of the amazing YouTube creators talking about how the Yolobox team had actually updated it so you could do program out. So program out means you only see what you're seeing now on this live stream. You don't see all of the camera information and all of the multi-screen information, all the audio information. So I had already at the time invested in a LIveU Solo, which I'm streaming with right now, and I'll explain this quickly. I can't actually show you without, let me try my best here. I'll show you the LIveU Solo very, very quickly. You're going to see my janky setup below me here. Yeah, so if I switch to HDMI 2, you should now see, there's the LIveU Solo. Okay, so it's just currently sitting underneath the Pro. So the LIveU Solo, what does that do? Okay, well, it's an encoder. It's a dedicated hardware encoder. And it's got 2 USB modems. It's also got Ethernet, and it's also got wireless, and it bonds all 4 of those connections. Okay, and you can see I've got the camera, and I've got the stream details. I don't know if you can read that very well. Yeah, it's a 7,797, or it's going between 7,000 and 8,000 at the minute. So it's giving me a nice healthy stream. Okay, so I had already invested in the LIveU Solo. I'm a videographer, a hobbyist turned videographer, and at the start of 2020, obviously, the pandemic hit and all of that horrible stuff, and I realised that live streaming weddings would be a really, really cool thing to do. I had some friends and family that wanted me to film their weddings for them, and I must admit I was panicking a little bit, having never done it. So I thought live streaming would be a good way to get into weddings and understand the flow of a wedding. I mean, I understand the flow of a wedding, but as a supplier at a wedding. So I invested in the LIveU Solo, and the LIveU Solo has got, the one I invested in, the entry-level one, has got 1 HDMI input. But the beauty of it is I could take any of these cameras and I could wear the LIveU Solo. It comes with a belt clip, or you can put it on a backpack or whatever. Or usually I use a magic arm and connect it to my tripod, or monopod, or even gimbal, and you've got 1 camera and you're very, very mobile. You can go anywhere. If you're stabilizing with a gimbal, you can literally go anywhere and stream with the LIveU Solo with 4 bonded connections, 3 if you haven't got Ethernet going in, but I also have a Netgear Nighthawk router with another SIM card in it, which you can plug in via Ethernet, so you can still get that 4 bonded connections. So I'd invested in that. It's really, really good bit of kit. And then when I saw the Yolobox, was now enabling program out via HDMI, I thought this is amazing, because this little thing isn't much really, it's not very heavy, it's not much to add to your setup, to add to your tripod with the LiveU Solo and the camera I already had. And then it's also giving me an extra camera, or an extra 2 cameras with the USB, and something I didn't mention, it was giving me SD card as well. So with the LiveU Solo, you can't do any graphics or overlays if you're out in the field. You just hit go, you start streaming, and it's just start streaming whatever your camera's looking at, and the audio that's being fed from your camera as well. But with the Yolobox, now you've obviously got the ability to do things like I'm doing now, showing this, which is a picture-in-picture graphical overlay with the chroma key keying out the background. You can have things like, let's just take that off, let's go back to HDMI 1 and go to my layers tab. You can literally put something like this on the screen. You can have lower thirds come up on the screen. You can have your logo come up in the corner. Is it over there? Oh, where am I pointing? Over there. So you can put lots of things on the screen, and you can also play pre-recorded videos as well. So from a wedding point of view, or any event point of view, having pre-recorded intro from the couple or the people that have invited you to their event, and all of that stuff is fantastic. Sorry, I just got distracted by a comment. JM Films 809, is that? Look good, thank you. I don't think you mean me, hopefully you mean the exposure. So yeah, basically this creates a mobile production unit with the LiveU Solo, with the 4 bonded connections, and this on the tripod. You can walk around with a camera in a venue, or be stationary in a venue. I even went with 2 cameras on 1 tripod at one point. I had this main camera with a zoom lens, and I had the gimbal camera above it on the same tripod, so I could move the gimbal and have different camera views and focal lengths with 2 cameras into this. Graphical overlays, pre-recorded video, pre-recorded intros and outros, holding cards if anything goes wrong, all of that stuff. Just me in a venue on a tripod, or outside in a field, a sporting event or whatever. No need to be connected to power, no need to be connected to it, cabled to Ethernet, no trouble for the venue, as long as my SIM cards, at least 2 of the SIM cards are getting, including my phone, getting 4G signal. You've got a solid stream via the LiveU Solo. So that's why I, ooh, no, we're okay. Just seemed to buffer for a bit there. This is still a test actually. The problem I had was the LiveU Solo Pro, sorry, the Yolobox Pro outputting via the LiveU Solo. We were having issues with buffering, and a patch has fixed it. So just saw buffering again, but it says my stream status is health is excellent on YouTube. So it may have just been, it may have been my download actually on my Wi-Fi. Anyway, sorry, lost my train of thought there. Let's go back onto that to remind me. We're talking about why I started with the Yolobox original, for all of those reasons. You don't need a laptop. I didn't need anything else or anybody else to help me with 2 camera production and all the intros, graphics and stuff that you could possibly need. And for me, that was absolutely amazing. And we'll talk about some of the cons of it towards the end, as I said. So the form factor is the main thing. It's small, it can connect to the tripod that I can carry around, or monopod, depending on what type of event I'm doing. With the LiveU Solo, those 2 things together are super, super cool in terms of portability, maneuverability around a venue, and just simply being able to be super mobile and produce a really cool live stream, in my opinion. Functionality, I've already kind of covered the functionality, all the things I've just said, the SD card being one of the main things. Oh, and also the multiple audio inputs, so you can bring in audio from any of the cameras. So today, actually on the Pro, I'll just show you. So at the minute, you're hearing audio through HDMI 1, which is a lapel mic, which is a Rode Wireless Go 2 to the camera. That's what you're hearing right now. But if I wanted to, I can go to line in, or mic in, sorry, and this also had audio in the original. So switch to mic in, you should hear a slight difference. I can still see I'm getting audio, and I'm just going to check that I am still getting audio. Yeah, so that's this mic I've got boomed up here at the minute. I've just knocked all the cabling out, but that's a video mic Pro, I think, Rode Video Mic Pro. Local video, I could switch to that, and I could go to HDMI 2, but the audio is going to be naff because I've got no microphone on it. So if I start talking into HDMI 2, you very well. So I'll go back to HDMI 1. I could go into HDMI 3 as well, which equally doesn't have a microphone on it. So anyway, you can have all of these different audio connections. And what I usually do, actually, keeping the form factor small, is I would have this little thing, which is a Comica. Is that going to focus? Is it going to focus? No, probably not. Focus is better back here because of the light, I guess. This is a Comica, I can't remember the brand, CVM AX1, and it's a 2-input microphone switcher, basically, or mixer, sorry. And the beauty of this is if you're a one-man band doing a live stream, is you can have 2 sets of mics going into this, and you've got these big gain knobs on the front. So if something's going wrong with one set of mics, you can just turn them down instantly without having to press anything anywhere. Just turn the gain right down and use the other one. And that's what I do, because what I normally do is have the Rode Wireless Go 2 going into one side. I have them paired, so 2 microphones out there. For example, one on a groom, one on a vicar at a wedding. And I'd have them merged, so it's just sending one signal from both of them into one side of this, so I can control the audio. And then I've got another similar thing, Comica Boom X2, Boom XU2, which is the same thing as a Rode Wireless Go 2, other than it's a UHF set of microphones. So that's why I do it, because they're on the UHF band, and the Rodes are on the 2.4 gigahertz end of the sound wave band. So if you've got any issues with any interference at 2.4 gig, you can switch with this to the UHF end, and vice versa. So that's what I normally do at a wedding. So I've got 4 microphones out there somewhere, 2 on people and 2 hidden nearby picking up audio. And I'd normally have a boom mic on a camera nearby as well. So again, super compact, super mobile, giving you multiple cameras and multiple audio, all with this box as the main kind of control hub to select your audio, mix your audio, and select your cameras and select your SD card content. And ease of use was the last thing. It is really, really simple to use. There are loads and loads of videos where people go through these in really, really loads of detail. But it's pretty intuitive. I am in a group, a Facebook group, where lots of questions get asked that I find, I found out myself, but everybody's different. Everybody learns in different ways. But I personally think it's super intuitive to use. It's all touchscreen, and I'll try and show you that in a little bit on the Pro itself. So next up is how I use it, and I've kind of jumped the gun. I've kind of told you how I use it a fair bit already there. I'm just noticing, like, camera 3 is buffering for some reason, and it's fully wired in, so unless I've knocked a cable, which I doubt, it's over there. Anyway, camera 2 is on wireless. Oh my god, that's a 35mm lens, but very close. Let's go back to camera 1. But its functionality, I keep forgetting to go back to picture-in-picture, in fact. How I use it, I've already said, it's the mobility, it's the full mobility of having this on a tripod with a couple of cameras. As I just showed you, that other camera angle is a wireless camera on a gimbal. And what I would normally have at a wedding is this camera, maybe not on a gimbal. Sometimes I'd have it on a gimbal because I can actually, if I really want to, control the gimbal via my phone app, but then you're adding more stuff to control. I normally just set it on a tripod with the Holyland Mars Pro 400S Pro HDMI transmitter, which is being received into the Yolobox. That would normally be set up on a monopod or a tripod at the front of whatever event I am actually streaming, so I can switch to that camera angle. So it's still fully mobile. I'm controlling everything on my tripod with the main camera that I can decide what I'm looking at, how I'm focusing on it, what my focal length is, because it's a zoom lens. But I can switch to that camera at the front of the venue, giving a completely different view, and it's normally tucked away in a corner nicely. I've already mentioned multi-mics, I've explained that already, multicam. Graphics, we talked about very, very quickly at the beginning. Pre-recorded content I've talked about in loads and loads of detail. And I use it as a monitor only, so that's what I meant when I'm talking about the LiveU Solo. The LiveU Solo I'm using as the encoder. That's what is sending the live stream to the internet, to the CDNs. And I use Vimeo, so through Vimeo I can restream to multiple platforms, including RTMPs, and embed into people's websites, stream to Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, all at the same time, and on Vimeo at the same time. All through the LIveU Solo. I just set it up before I go, job done. I don't use the Yolobox or the Yolobox Pro as an encoder, okay, but it's there as a backup encoder. So if something goes wrong with the LIveU Solo, these things, the Yoloboxes, can take SIM cards inside them. They can take Ethernet connections, pointing at the wrong thing. They can take an Ethernet connection, and they can take a Wi-Fi connection, both the original and the Pro. And I have both of them in my bag at all times. So if something, heaven forbid, goes wrong with the LIveU Solo, I can try and stream with either of the two devices directly via one connection. But that's the only drawback. It's one connection, which is why I use the LIveU Solo, because it's 4 connections and it's a dedicated piece of hardware that does all of that clever stuff for you. You can currently sideload onto the Android operating system of the Yolobox Speedify and use Speedify, I think 3 connections, but then it's a subscription to Speedify. It's a sideload at the minute, so it's not necessarily a supported piece of technology, and it's relying on the Yolobox to process that as well. I think, I'm not technical, by the way, but you know, you're asking the Yolobox to do everything it's already doing: audio, multicam, graphics, overlays, all of that stuff, SD card, stream, and use Speedify at the same time. I already had the LIveU Solo. I already paid for the bonding service for the LIveU Solo. I have no reason to want to use Speedify whatsoever. The LIveU Solo is a professional bit of kit, in my opinion. Speedify isn't. I think Speedify is more of a prosumer piece of software to allow people to stream from home. So yeah, that's my use case. So it is a backup encoder, however, if anything goes wrong with the LIveU Solo. So features and benefits and what's not so great, I've got them all on the same kind of tab. So we've kind of whizzed over it pretty quickly anyway, but let's just show you. And my little office here, I may not get this perfect, but let's try. Because I use the program out to actually send the stream via the LIveU Solo, I can't do a loop and show you the screen, which is what a lot of people actually do. They loop and via the program out into one of the HDMI ports, you can see the screen. But I'm going to have to use this thing. So let's just try and show you the screen as best I possibly can. I'm going to put it on my lap, actually. So there's the LIveU Solo again for you. Okay, so no, this isn't working. That's what I'm looking at the moment. Okay, so you should be able to see this section in the top left is your program out. This is what people are seeing on the stream. Okay, and underneath are up to 6 video sources. Okay, now they're in a funny order, and you can see HDMI 3. I've got something going wrong with it. Is the camera over there? I don't know what's happened. It's probably gone into sleep mode. I've probably forgot to put the camera on, take it off eco mode or something silly like that. But HDMI 1 being my main camera, HDMI 2, they're in a different order because I plugged them in the wrong order earlier. SD card video content, and with the Pro you can actually load 2 SD card video contents. The PDF, which I can actually delete, I think. I don't know if I need that anymore. Let's just get rid of it. So my picture-in-picture now won't have the PDF overlay that it had before, because I'll show you how to do that actually. That's a new feature. That's the green screen feature. Oh, I'm getting confused with focusing on the screen. Sorry, everybody. This is a bit janky. Okay, so actually, if I want to bring in that PDF again, you can just add a source. It's this simple. And you go, not SD card video, sorry. I wanted to add a PDF. So you can see here all of the sources. So we're going to add a PDF, and there's the PDF that I had already created with a green background. So I select that, hit done, and now in the top right of all of these you can see this little symbol. You can click on it and you get the option for a keying switch. So I can key out the green, and you can change what you're keying out, and click done. So now if I go to another source, so my main camera source, and hit the same thing, no, I've done that wrong, sorry. If I go to my picture-in-picture, oh, it's done it already because I'd already set up my picture-in-picture, but let's delete it. So let's imagine we've keyed out the green screen on the PDF. Oh, the focus is going a bit shonky. Let me just change my focus to large area. Okay, that's better. So now we need to set up a picture-in-picture to use that PDF. So you just go to picture-in-picture video here. What do we want as our main screen? HDMI camera 1, next. And then we want the PDF as the picture-in-picture. And then you can decide what size you want it to be. And remember, this is a PDF, a slideshow that's been keyed out. The chroma key's been keyed out. And then you can reposition this anywhere you want. Now this could be anything. I've just chosen a PDF for this example because it gave me notes to follow on the screen. So it worked quite well for me for this particular use. So now if I select that as my source, that's what you are seeing on the actual live stream for a second now. But if I go back to HDMI 2, so you can see my Yolobox screen again. So that's the chroma key feature, which is pretty cool. And it doesn't have to be a PDF. It could be a video, I think. I haven't done it yet, but you could have a video with a green screen and overlay onto another background. So that is really, really powerful. The chroma key feature is really, really powerful. And as you can see, right, let's delete that again. So you can, on the fly, whilst live streaming, you can delete sources, so you can then bring in other sources. So you can bring in a second SD card video, as I said, a different PDF. You can set up a side-by-side with a background image. You can set up split view, which I'll quickly just show you. And you just select what you want to be the split view. And you go like that, and then you can choose the thickness or the position, sorry, of the separator. You can choose the thickness of the border. You can even change the direction of the separator. And then move it again. And click done. So now I have a split view as an option. So let's show you that split view. Okay. But you can have up to 6. I might as well delete HDMI 3 because something has gone very wrong with HDMI 3, so we get rid of it. So yeah, you've got all of these options. Add another video source. If you had the other Yolobox, this is another point actually, the original Yolobox that I have. If I was live streaming with that other Yolobox, I could select it as a source. In fact, let me just talk about that for a second because I first of all need to put down the gimbal. Even though I'm just holding it there, it's super, super heavy after a little while trying to focus on the screen. Just checking my audio as well. So, live stream as a source is something that people probably aren't exploiting very well. If you do outside events or any type of event, and I want to try this at a marathon or a half marathon or something like that, because that's a good example. If you're live streaming a marathon or even a half marathon, in fact, and you're not mobile, and in fact, another story, I'm going mobile on a bike for one soon, but if you're not mobile, in terms of you can't run with the runners, you're at the start finish and you stream, you're live streaming the build up to the race, and then everybody goes off on the race and you film everybody gets on the live stream as they go past, then you're kind of stuck. And unless it's a lapped course and they come back past, then you're kind of stuck. There's nothing to do until they come back and finish the race, which could be 2 hours or more for a lot of people for a half marathon. Or you could get in a car, I guess, and get transported to a different location on course. That's something I've toyed with. But another thing you can do is have somebody else with your other Yolobox. And this is a really inexpensive way of doing it, in my opinion. They could have 2 cameras, they could have 1 camera, they could be live streaming with 1 connection to the internet. They have to be live streaming to the Yololiv servers on your account that both your Yoloboxes are set up on. So you can't use any other way to live stream like the LIveU Solo. But the main program could be using the LIveU Solo. So this one could be somewhere else on course, say halfway point, water station. Switch to that as a source, as a live stream, as a source in your main program. Watch everyone go past. They could then relocate to a different destination, and you could have been relocating to a different part of the course at the same time. So you're kind of staggering around the course and streaming from different parts of the course with 2 Yoloboxes. If you stream like sports, say you stream for amateur football teams and they've got multiple games going on different pitches. You could cover one pitch with this one and switch to it from that one. I'm not explaining that really well, but hopefully you followed my drift. So that's really, really powerful, and people are just not really exploiting that too much yet. I haven't had the right booking yet, but I'm hoping to be able to try that out. So all the different sources, up to 6 on the screen at once. Let's go back to this actually, because I want to show you the other thing is the view I usually sit in is this one. So half my screen is the video sources, so my program up there, and then the 6 sources underneath that I can switch between, touchscreen switch between. And then on the right hand side, I like to keep it as my audio, so I can select HDMI 1, HDMI 2, mic in, local video. They're all the ones that are live at the minute for this particular live stream. But if you had more audio sources, then obviously you can switch between them. So I usually stay in this view. But if it's a long stream like a wedding ceremony that I know I'm not going to change the audio for a long, long time, or I'm using the switcher, which the mixer, which enables me to on the fly change audio from 4 mics anyway, I don't need this necessarily. So I'll hit this, which makes your view large, and you get that infinity thing going on now. Apologies, and the focus is not going to be happy. Let's come back a bit. Okay, so now it's just the whole screen is being used for what your program is showing, but still you can select the switch icon there and your sources come up along the bottom of the screen. Okay, so you can still switch between different sources that way, and still have a really, really large view of the screen. So that's what I normally sit in if I know I'm not going to change the audio for a while. So we'll come back out of that now though. The other things you can then do from here are the layers. This is the layers tab. Oh, I didn't touch it properly. So this is where all my overlays are. Lower third that I've created myself as a JPEG. My logo is already up there. You can take it on and off. And again, you can just hold and delete these or edit them whilst live. So you could bring in another one if you wanted to. There's all of these pre-programmed ones. And you can actually change the fonts and the colors and the sizes of all of these. There's rolling captions. I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can do these whilst live. I'm still live right now, and I could create one of these right now. In fact, let's just do a quick rolling caption. Look, so it brings up this screen. You enter your text. Now, okay, we found one of the cons. We have found one of the cons. I'll talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about it at the end. So I've just discovered something that has been reported since the patch. Okay, so I've found that problem too. Okay, audio. If you're using scoreboard, there is this team scoreboard thing. So if you're doing sports, you can add in a scoreboard display as an overlay. You can even bring in logos and colors and all sorts. If we were streaming with this box, this one here would be the chat. So if I was streaming to Facebook or YouTube with the box, with this rather than the LIveU Solo, then I could bring in chat live here. So I could look at the comments here rather than on a laptop. And you can even bring them up onto the screen. So that's pretty cool, but it's grayed out because I'm not streaming with the box. You can go into your settings and there's all different settings that you can do for encoding and all of that good stuff. But that really, in a nutshell, covers all of the things I would ever use it for. Let's just go back to HDMI 1. Oh, get rid of that. Surprisingly heavy when you hold it for that amount of time. I've got rid of my picture-in-picture, haven't I, doing that demo for you. But I can remember, we're going to talk about the cons. So let me just check, we are still getting audio. Yes, we are. And the stream health looks excellent. And I'm just going to check the actual stream itself. Is getting audio, yeah, and big latency though. So the cons, okay. With the Pro, obviously I had the big dilemma that it wasn't working at all with the LIveU Solo, but that seems to have been fixed with the patch. But what we just demonstrated there is trying to set up a new lower third. Let's just get rid of like that one. Okay, so let's try and set up another one. I'm just going to choose one. I'm just going to check whether, yeah, it's the keyboard. So the keyboard, normally you would touch where I did before on the title where it says please enter text and the subtitle, and as soon as you touch on it, the keyboard would come up for you to type in what you want to type in. That is not working since the patch, and other people have mentioned it. So hopefully Yololiv will sort that out though. It's obviously something that the patch has done that it has caused an issue. If you're at home like this, you can actually have a keyboard plugged in via USB anyway. You just take one of the USB ports, plug in, and you can have a keyboard and type with that. So it's not a problem. But if you're out in the field at the minute with this new patch, the latest firmware update, that's a con. You can't use the keyboard for some reason. Okay, but I generally don't. I create all of my graphics in something like Canva, and yeah, even my logo up there and my lower thirds there, and SD card content, pre-recorded videos. Everything comes off my SD card. I don't generally use the inbuilt lower thirds or anything like that. So it's not a con for me, but it might be for you. Other things, quirkiness about the box, if a camera dies in the past, but it's not doing it for me with my version of the Pro. It did on this one. So if a camera died, if an input failed, you'd lose your audio, and you just have to go into the audio tab and change to a different audio source and then back to the one you wanted, and then invariably it would come back. But it's never done it with the Pro, touch wood, the cabin, my head, the desk. And a camera's failed on me now. It's gone into eco mode, and I just deleted it from the video sources, and as far as I can tell, we're still getting audio, so that's all good. What other quirks? I haven't had any other quirks really at all. There are lots of things that people report, like people in the user group are getting different things, different quirks that are not working for them, but most of them are not using it in the way I use it. Most of them are using it to stream, so it's things about dropped frames and stuff. But the problem with that for me is if you're using a device with one connection to the internet, and you do a speed test and everything looks fine, this is live streaming, right? Things could go wrong with your internet connection, which can cause drop frames, but people seem to blame the Yolobox a lot. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that because I don't do it myself. I've streamed with it twice to test from here with a really good Ethernet connection straight into my router, and I had 0 drop frames and no problems at all because nobody else, my partner was in bed, nobody else was using the internet at home. I've been in venues before, even with the LIveU Solo, with just 2 SIM cards, 2 4G SIM cards connected. Speed tests, streaming and everything absolutely fine, you know, 7,000, 8,000 kilobits per second. But then you suddenly get 100 people in the venue, all demanding use of the local cell tower, and suddenly things can go wrong and frames can be dropped. So I don't know if that's a Yolobox thing per se. I'm struggling to think of any other quirks. It's just things, I mean, it's an Android device at the end of the day, so it's like your smartphone. You know when things pause on a smartphone and you just have to restart, go off a certain screen and go back in again, reboot your phone. You get the same kind of thing sometimes with the Yolobox, but for me the Pro has been better than the original, far, far better than the original, because it's got a faster processor and it's been updated basically in lots of ways. So would I recommend one? As far as I'm concerned, the way I use it, the experience I've had with it, 100% yes. I think anybody who is entering into the world of live streaming and you want to offer a mobile solution, if you're looking to connect this to a desk-based system and you already have an A10 Mini or any of those kind of hardware switches already in place, and you're just thinking, do I need a Yolobox to come into that workflow? I don't think so. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't see what you would gain from it if you're using, you know, software-based, laptop-based, computer-based streaming software where you can do all your graphics and all of that stuff anyway. And you've already got hardware switches and you can mix audio and all of that stuff already. The Yolobox doesn't really add anything in my personal opinion, other than it's obviously a screen in itself, I guess, as well. And you can look at yourself and look at the stream on the device, on the switcher itself. But for me, it was designed as an on-camera, like it comes with a ball head, so you can literally put it on top of your camera, probably not on the gimbal because this gimbal wouldn't take the weight of it. But if you're on a tripod, the idea is it would just go on top of the camera, and you can have another camera wirelessly connected to it. and stream from any location. That's what it's designed for, but they keep adding all these extra features. So yes, I would recommend it if you're looking for a mobile solution where you don't necessarily want to take a laptop, you don't want to take hardware switches that need power, need big batteries or connections to DC power, then yes, I would recommend it 100%. So this has probably gone on a little bit longer than I thought I was going to go on. 43 minutes. Boy, I can talk. I can talk when I get going. And we haven't even had any comments from anybody apart from one. Oh, somebody's just said audio's a bit low. Oh no. After 43 minutes. We've only just found out the audio's a bit low. Let me just slide that up there. Is it still low? Oh yeah, it's not really changing much, is it? Testing 1, 2. I am talking quietly, but also, yeah, let's just test this mic up there. Is that mic? No, that's very quiet. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, there's not much difference there at all. Okay, so maybe it seems like we may have just found a quirk. It seems like adjusting the volume, the gain on the Yolobox isn't making any difference to my volume. Now, I'm just going to check something though. Bear with me. You're going to get a bottom shot. Let's just check. What are we on there? We're on -12. So let's just bring that up to -6 and see whether that has made a significant. That's made a difference to me, I think. If you're still there in Louisiana, I can't say digital media. Is it ZYXXY digital media? Has that made a difference? I had my gain on the Rode Wireless Go 2 down at -12 dB. I've just changed it to -6. But the slider on the Yolobox Pro for the gain isn't making any real difference as far as I can tell. So I'm going to keep talking for a second and you can tell me. At the minute I'm on 100. If I go down to 35, has that really made much of a difference? And I'll watch this back myself as well. And if I go back up to, I don't know, 60, is that making any difference? And I'll go back up to 100, I'm still talking at the same tone, the same level. I don't know. So that could be a con. The gain controller, although I can hear myself coming out of my headphones now, the gain controller for the audio on the Yolobox itself doesn't feel like it's really making, oh, it does if you go really low. 51, it is making a difference. Okay, so that isn't a con. Yes, it's better. Okay, so that's my bad. I did an audio test before I went live and I thought it was good, but clearly I wasn't. So apologies for that. Hopefully people can just turn the volume right up. But anyway, okay, so if you just joined, sorry, I'm about to end anyway because it's been 46 minutes. Are you a Yolobox? Works best, yeah, changing on the road works best. Are you a Yolobox user yourself? That would be interesting. The other weird thing about it is obviously you can change the audio monitoring level on here too. So I've got it up on 70, 75, that's where I normally sit. But obviously if you turn it up, you hear a louder volume in your headphones, and I can change the volume on my headphones too. So it's finding that kind of unity of where all of your audio should be. Normally I have everything somewhere between 35 and 70 on everything, including the monitoring channel. And then it gives me flexibility. Get it right on the microphones at their end, get it right in camera because I'm going through camera at the minute. What I like to do is keep the preamp on the camera down as low as possible so you don't introduce any of that background noise that preamps can introduce. But the line-in should be better, and I can't remember. Let's just have a look. Am I on 0 or plus 20 on this? I'm on plus 20 on that, so that should, sorry, headphones rattling all over the place. If I go back to that one, just check I'm in mic in and not line in, yes. That should be, That should be fine. I'm hearing a strange hum with that one though. And yeah, I'm not talking enough. Sound test, mic in, 100% gain, plus 20 dB on the mic compared to 70 gain on the lapel mic. The lapel mic's better, in my opinion. I think lapel mics are better anyway. It's closer to your mouth. If I move, it's staying with me. But a good shotgun mic in a good position should be good as well. But yeah, anyway. Zixi. Okay, cool. I've probably completely pronounced that wrong. Apologies. Zixi, yeah? Cool. So you use the Pro. How long have you had the Pro? Have you got any comments about the Pro, good or bad? Before I sign off, let's just see if our fellow watcher here, Zixi from Louisiana. What's the time there as well? Get you to type loads of stuff now. Can't even think what coast Louisiana is on, east or west. What time zone you're in. My brain is not working tonight. No hum here. I'll be testing my audio tomorrow on the Pro with my students. Oh, cool. Cool. You'll have to let me know in another comment once the video's uploaded, what you do, how you use it, if there's anything. Are you in? Oh, also, are you in the Facebook group, the official? I think it's called the official Yololiv. Sorry, the official Yolobox users group worldwide. There's lots of chat in there. Pros, cons, questions, things people are using them for, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm going to sign off because I'm going to end up just waffling now. I've covered what I wanted to cover. Yololiv did me a great turn getting it working with the LiveU Solo, just for you actually, Mr. Louisiana. You're on the South Coast, it's 3 p.m. Oh, okay, 3 p.m. Central Time. So the time here now is 9:15 in the evening. I'll just show you my setup again. This is a janky setup on the desk because I don't normally stream from home like this, but I use the monitor mode on the Yolobox Pro to program out to a LiveU Solo, which has got 4 bonded connections to the internet. I'm currently rocking 3. Battery's still good on this. That was the other thing. Both of these devices have batteries, which supports the mobility of them as well, and they both last for about 2 hours if you're using this as monitor and this to stream. So that's my setup. My main camera that I've been talking to is up there with the Rode hanging off of it now. I did have this as a backup mic, but it doesn't seem to be as loud as the Rode. Got my PC and everything in front of me there. And the other camera is my old Canon M50, which I had on manual focus as a side angle, but I think it's just gone to sleep. I think it just went to sleep on me because I forgot to check the eco power off settings on it, basically. In fact, I'm going to do it now. Oh, maybe. It's being powered by USB, but I don't know. It's gone straight back off again, so there's something I'm not happy with the M50. But yeah, the M50 is pretty cool, actually. I have 2 EOS Rs, which... Oh, that was the other thing, actually. I'm remembering stuff now. With the original, I had to use... And this is quite common with lots of Canon cameras. I had to use ID emulators between the camera and the Yolobox to get a decent image. But with the Pro, plug in straight in from the Canons, no issue. The M50 doesn't have a clean HDMI out unless you go on a manual focus and take all the information off the screen. So I only use that for a wide on a very closed aperture, normally at the back of a room, just as a wide shot. I've got to stupidly put a 50mm lens on it tonight, so when I did use it, it was like right on the side of my face, but I have a 22mm lens for that as well. But 35mm is on that one at the minute, and the zoom lens is on that one. So pretty good. Oh, in fact, it has come back on. I didn't realise, but it's not focused. It's not focused at all. Let's just put my hand up there and try and get focus on it. So when I go back here, oh, there we go. The M50 is working again. I think it must be the old eco mode thing playing silly buggers. Anyway, yes, we're coming up to probably an hour now. So yeah, you've just joined the group. Fantastic, you appreciate it. Yeah, if you need any help, any advice, give us a shout. Yeah, let us know how you get on with the Pro. Let us know what you do. When you mention students, what kind of thing do you stream, and are your students learning to stream, or whatever the case may be, or film? I'm guessing it's some kind of filmmaking courses that you run. So yeah, cool. I've been James. I've waffled for the last 20 minutes, 100%. But Yolobox Pro, my use case, combined in the field as a mobile streaming device, but with a LiveU Solo. At the minute, I can't fault it. So I'm very, very happy. And I hope you all take care and have a good evening or morning or whatever, wherever you are.